Team Liquid's turn to ban. Dire team ban. Team Liquid's turn to pick.
Te has definido muchísimo toda. O sea, toda básicamente será jugar alrededor de Anti-Mage y consiga el farm, intentar ni que sea sobrevivir el early game más o menos, que Anti-Mage no tiene mala línea, así que no sea tan complicado, y luego que en el mid game Viking G te cruja, porque el matchup entre Anti-Mage y...
Окей, тут будет 50 на 50. Свен плюс...
Liquid and Viking GG. Lacoste, we just had the lineups come in. Liquid, they felt that this is the time to get up the old anti-mage. What are your sort of feelings about this?
I feel like it's a great anti-mage and Storm game, as Jenkins said, they don't have enough control. Like, the only stun they have is Sven, and I feel like Viking put themselves in a bad spot, just trying to put everything in the laning stage. You know, Queen of Pain against the Storm Spirit, we're gonna have this Bloodseeker and Io paired up together, but I'm a bit worried about like Io Undying as two supports, where if things are not going well, if they come out of the laning stage even, like, you're not gonna be able to make any kind of moves, like aggressive ones. Also, if Queen of Pain is not having a good time, like, I've seen this matchup multiple times, Storm Spirit against Queen of Pain, it can go both ways easily. Like, I've seen Storm Spirit killing Quops level 3.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that if there's any potential for a Storm to upset a Quap in the mid lane as well, it's going to be Quake for Storm. A man that's almost certainly played this matchup many times before. So we'll see what he's able to do, or if Boom is able to outplay him and have that edge in the lane. Now looking at the setups here, we're indeed going to have this Bloodseeker IO lane into the face of Mickey. Celery is going to be heading up top to support Shad against the offlane Timber. And Boxy backed up by Tiger's Earth Spirit. See down bottom as well, Mickey. Very prepared for sort of harassment in this lane.
Yeah.
He's starting with the 4 branches, 9 tangos. He's got a whole lot of regen for this lane.
I mean, he understands that they need to just sustain throughout this lane. I think they're gonna get the kills. Bloodseeker, very strong laner, and judging by the items, I see Taiga with the boots of speed, so that means he wants to drag the second creep wave behind the tower, deny the whole creep wave, get himself to level 2, and then possibly leave a Timber Saw so that he gets the solo levels, and that's exactly what he's doing right now.
Sure, because what this top lane as Timber against this Undying Sven, it's not really a lane where you're going to have any chance of bullying the Sven early, right?
No, that's why he took the Timber Chain. Yep. There are a couple of heroes in the game who can match up against the Timber Soul level 1. Undying is probably the best hero in the game, where, you know, it's just a rough time for him.
So far as well, looking over to the mid lane, Quaker having a very solid start in the first few waves here. So he's able to hold the wave underneath the tower and having no trouble at all. Over here by the creeps meeting between the towers, Celery just continuing to be a bit of a nuisance here to Tiger. See if he can mess with some of the CS.
Top tower is under attack.
Down up top, Boxy. A bit of an opportunity to get in onto Shad, but Shad, of course, with regen himself, start with the Ring of Regen and 4 tangos to go. Bottom lane, Senior and Mickey are able to burn all of Toby's mana, and actually, what a solid route here. Toby getting pretty low. They'll turn over towards Mickey. Has the blink up. Toby able to play low with the backup of Aramis, coming in with that tether. But now the two of them, how are they doing for regen? That's their last salve. That's just a shared tango. So far, Liquid doing all right in sort of the war of attrition down here.
Yeah, once Anti-Mage gets that Ring of Health, he's gonna be fine, like any kind of harassment, and once Oracle starts to get the level, there's like a way of dispelling the Bloodseeker's silence. How's Mid doing? Yeah. And this matchup feels like Storm Spirit just getting on top. Does not have a point in Vortex. He'll get it on level 4 then. Most of the time I see Storm Spirit just getting 1-1-1 build when they play against the
here we go. He's got the point. And nearly gets the kill there. Boom to the concern. Fairy Fire.
He doesn't know that.
Ja, Boom very low there as well. He will now hit the level 4 so he can put the point over into it, but both mids, they're battling to the death. You can have a rotation coming in from Tiger, but it's spotted out by the ward. Will get taken out by Tiger. Boom's got to be careful still, as Tiger, he's going to look for the angle and he's in. I mean, Boom, he's able to play away with the blink. He won't go down. He's able to keep himself alive down to that last tango. Celery able to sweep around for the river and pick up Tiger's courier on the way over the mid.
Also Celery bringing a healing salve, so there's gonna be easy regeneration from Queen of Pain. Also bringing up the bottle for herself. Rune spawning in 30 seconds, so we're gonna see like at least 2 heroes rotating to try to secure the bottle for the mid laners. And with that rotation, that also leaves Boxy on Timbersaw top solo, which is exactly what they want him.
Tiger, he's able to help out there. Insania with the setup onto Aramis. 3 of them collapsing onto the Ion, get themselves first blood for Mickey, and that'll be that all-important first little Ion picked up. The Ring of Hell stun, and now Mickey, as you say, he should be pretty solid down here, particularly with an Oracle backing him up. It's going to be really hard for Viking to fully push this AM out of lane now.
If this was a pub game, AM gets the first blood. People on the enemy team, someone says, please end, I don't want to play anymore. You know, and you...
Which would it be? Stereotypically, which of the players on Viking, if you look at the heroes, which of these heroes is the guy... Oh, it's the Quap now, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you guys not playing the off lane well. They just ganked me. Where's my support?
AM got first blood. Quap won't be happy. So Liquid now, with a couple of kills to start things off here.
Dire's middle tower is under
Point for
attack.
getting that good beginning, and with the robe, he's gonna try and get that Orchid done as quickly as he can. Looks of it. And I guess it's just the thing, right? For Vikings heroes, you look at their supports, for example. It's a lot harder for them to sort of make moves around the map, right? Sure, the Undying very strong in the lane, but compared to what Tiger's able to do in this early game, it's very hard for Viking to match that.
That's the issue. I never like to support the defensive support in mid lane.
Tiger. Oh, very close there, Boom.
Yeah, Tiger's playing this extremely well. He was making all the right rotations, coming to the mid lane, now peeping to the mid lane, refilling the bottle from the Storm Spirit, securing the runes. There's still a bounty rune, he's picking it out if Storm wants to pick it up, and staying out of XP range, so Storm Spirit can get level 6 and have more kill potential on Queen of Pain. They already killed her, so they know she's not going to be level 6 as soon as Storm Spirit.
Celery to get over. Grab that. But we're not quite able to find the setup onto mid. Tiger still hovering around, but it is all underneath this ward from Viking GG, so Boom fully aware that Tiger's looking for action still around this mid lane. Can't expect to see him play it rather safe. Ace rune to spawn. Quifers should be able to grab that for himself if he checks. They're actually going to look to try and dive in onto Boom in. Straight away, Tiger, again, just finding these angles. Even though they do have sort of wall coverage up to the wall's top side of the mid lane, he's playing around it, Tiger. He's moving into these areas where Boom's just not ready for the Earth Spirit to come in from.
Yeah, having Timbersaw as your offlaner allows you to do that because you want to leave him some solo XP, and he's about to hit level 6. Is not really threatened at all by Sven. And who's gonna be on the top lane? Because at the moment, Sven just wants to jungle. Like, he gets his item, whether he goes for Mom, whether he gets phase boots in the hand of Midas. And someone needs to be on the top lane just to collect the XP. But which hero is that gonna be? Like, you send a strength hero on top with no escape mechanism, he's gonna die.
I just feel a bit awkward, and I've seen this so many times now. Boxy Timber, just one of the player hero combinations that feels like recently has had so many games where he just ends up never dying. They're very good at Liquid at picking this Timber in scenarios where Boxy's just able to have such a free game as it goes on, and this game he's having that sort of start. Definitely going to be a worry down the line. Overall, still even net worth between the two teams, Viking and Liquid, but definitely yet to see what sort of moves Viking's going to be able to make, especially with Boom being shut down here early on, and also 7.5 minutes in, he's on the verge of losing this mid tower, as Viking not really having the heroes to come in and be able to do anything about this, just having these early towers being taken away from them.
No counterplay, they have no stuns, they have one stun, one silence from Bloodseeker, and they have no setup. mean, they're playing aggressively on the bottom lane, but it's also a defensive support Oracle who can take care of AM. He's level 6, has that ring, just going straight into Battle Fury. No shenanigans. I do not want to buy a single item, just straight up Battle Fury. And meanwhile, on the top, like I talked about how someone needs to get the XP on the top lane. Celery is collecting the XP, but hiding in the fog because he knows he just straight up dies.
Yeah, he's got to be careful how he pokes over to this. I mean, he's going to show himself. Foxy is going to quickly scare away the Undying. Celery's going to lay down the tombstone. Boxy might still have this here if he's able to land another combo with the chakra. And, well, there it is pretty much. Celery, he's going to go down. I mean, yeah, you said it. He didn't seem to know it. Celery couldn't show himself. He did show himself, and he died just like as you said he would.
I mean, the only thing he can do is just stay there, collect XP. This way he fed some gold. Timbersaw will still pressure the tower. They don't have a hero that can contest Timbersaw at the moment. They have... I mean, Bloodseeker's good, but he's out of mana on the bottom lane. He can't make a TP rotation unless he goes back or just gets, like, Clarity and Mango and then TP top. But they also need someone to stun him because he can just TP out. The only one that has a cancel TP ability is Sven, and he's in jungle. Yeah, but considering how bad the lanes went for Viking, like, they're still in the lead because they made some stacks for Sven, but, you know, it's gonna be a sick timing on this Storm Spirit Orchid. He got the last hit on the tower. Queen of Pain also going for Orchid from what I see. Did not buy anything yet. 2 good items. Drought for Storm Spirit. Gonna keep Arcane Ring, some extra intelligence, damage, and armor.
Yeah, I mean, Shad is... He's definitely going to be farmed this game. Midas, good timing, top of the net worth. But I do feel like he's going to have to do a pretty big job carrying this one. As you know, it feels like this Storm, this Anti-Mage, this Timber, you know, heroes that if they don't get sort of punished early on, really can become quite an issue. Just none of them have been punished. They're all having a very free start. And yeah, Mickey just 500 gold away from having a Battle Fury. He said, sure, it's a naked Battle Fury, no treads. But it is going to be a very, very quick one.
It's going to be a sick timing on the Battle Fury. Also on the top lane, Boxy managed to bring down the tower. And what I like about Team Liquid is their understanding of the timings. What items certain people need to do if the game is progressing in this way. Boxy was having a good time on the top. He's getting max, so they're gonna go 4 men while Anti-Mage is just farming.
Yeah.
Radiant structures are
and do you like that sort of approach when you look at the 4-man that the Liquid has outside of the Anti-Mage? Do you think they can sort of do this, take objectives, and it's still not going to be too easy for Viking to fight in, even if they do have a 5th member?
Yeah, I think they are getting more out of the map right now because Vikings lineup is very good at 5-manning. Like a lot of sustain, a lot of heal coming on from Io and Undying. They put down the Tombstone. Sven, he's a monster. Like if you compare 2 carries right now, Anti-Mage does not want to join, while Sven will gladly join a team fight whenever there's ult or just go for the tower. And tier 2 tower gone, so 11 minutes in, outpost already taken.
It is an extremely early tier 2 tower. I mean, it definitely feels like, you know, this is part of the plan for Viking, as we've seen with their draft. No interest in trying to defend these things, as they feel that with their lineup they cannot do so. So you know, something a little different. You know, I feel like we're not going to see many teams with many lineups just to sort of part of the game plan allow this much to be taken away from them. But that seems to be okay here for Viking. You know, this is they're keeping the net worth even, and they're choosing not to fight in these situations.
My problem with them is, how do they start a team fight? Like, this is gonna be a smoke from them. Timbersaw, he's fairly tanky. With the Rupture, they have enough.
Yeah.
Stun.
But he's out with a TP.
What am I saying? Like, I thought Sven is there with the stun, but he's gone.
And if there's no Sven, there's no stun. Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised that they decided to go for it. Like, if Sven doesn't join, like, what's the plan? I'm pretty sure Boxy's smart enough to just TP out. Storm Spirit, Invis, and Orchid are also smoked. So Queen of Pain needs to adjust her item build. Once she saw the fast Orchid, that he's going for it, instantly goes for the Yule Scepter. That's a dead Bloodseeker.
Straight they go on the mid lane. No, indeed he won't. Aramis comes in with the tether, but the mech actually, I feel coming in a little late there. Didn't quite give him the healing time. So Toby ends up going down. Liquid getting themselves another kill, and it's still even. But the thing is, when you do look at Vikings lineup, Lacoste, would you imagine that their plan was to have sort of come out on top of the laning stage? Like, were they, you know, is this draft going to do something magical later around this Sven, or should it have accomplished more at this point?
Every single time I see like Sven lineup or PA lineup, it's a lineup that, you know, all it takes is one good fight. You can easily take the Roche. Like Sven is extremely farm right now. Look at the difference between the CS. They had a lot of stacks. Sven, I mean, he has a free Battle Fury to start with, so can't really compare it, but AM will catch up. But, you know, even without 0 kills, because they don't have many stuns, they can still take a fight. They just need to find the right one.
We'll see soon how much Shad can get done here. Some very, very good item timings. Echo Saber Midas. And an intriguing item queued up by Shad. He's queuing up the Blink Dagger, Lacoste.
They don't have any form of initiation. Your offlaner doesn't provide you anything. Once again, I mean, I can see Chad just typing Kek W EU gank 2 times in a row. That's the problem. Like, you have offlaner that does not have a low cooldown or any kind of stun, and you have 2 supports that can't make aggressive moves. So I think Liquid has a perfect understanding of that, and they're just gonna go for pickoffs. The strength of Viking right now is just 5-manning and sustain.
Bottom. Again, Aramis just not able to quite save Toby there. Too much damage coming out from Quaker and Tiger. And I imagine from sort of Shad's perspective as well, he's going for this Blink Dagger rather than obviously the Aghanims that we are very used to seeing on a Sven. Because if you look at the cores of Liquid, right, Quafer, he's always able to Ball Lightning if a Stormhammer's coming in. Anti-Mage is able to jump around, use the counter spell. So the only real way he's actually able to get on top of them is to blink next to them and instantly trial stuff.
It's a big kill.
Yeah, they get the Storm, they'll get Tiger as well by the looks of it. He's trying to bring down Aramis with him. If the magnetizing the urn, it will pop Aramis. But this time Viking able to hit back and get 2 kills for it. One of them being the big one.
Needed someone to just jump in and make stuff happen. Like Undying Io, they're definitely not the heroes. So I can see why he decided to go for a Blink Dagger in this situation.
I guess I really feel it's going to allow him to do things that just an Aghanims would not let him do this game.
Toby, like, he's itemizing also correctly in this type of situation where he gets rid of ATOS. It's a good stats for the hero against AM, against the Storm Spirit, even Timber. So, like, root mechanic, extremely powerful.
See Shad next, just getting that BKB on. Knowing that committing with the BKB, he's going to be very safe. It's going to be very hard for Liquid to kill this Sven.
They have 0 abilities that go through Magic Immunity on side of Team Liquid.
Ready, Viking, they're in. Jump forward for Shad, finds Insania. You got to continue to do this. There's some good moves here from Viking around the Sven, really starting to use Shad's power. Not quite from the side. Look at the Celery. Boxy coming across. Aramis in with a heal. The Celery is back up to fighting shape as he can stand his ground. Shad trying to run up for more. Stun down onto Boxy. Boxy will cut himself away from Timber Chain. They won't be able to go any further in onto it. Boxy just a little too tanky right now, even for Shad during the God Strength. Not quite the damage to bite through this Timber.
The problem for Liquid is they took Tier 2 tower 11 minutes in. Now they don't have a Tier 2 tower to take on top.
Tower is under attack.
Sure, yeah, it's like they've done the
Rich
objective so
people
quickly.
problems.
Yeah, it's like, wow, there's nothing to take up here. I mean, how's Mickey's farm, of course, still looking very well. I mean, again, for Liquid, it really is the fact that all 3 of their cores are split up. They're progressing. We'll see if Vikings are able to punish any of this. They're looking towards Mickey top, but pretty impossible catch. Nothing really to do if Shad's not around. He's their everything right now, this Sven.
Courier died, but Manta style recipe already delivered, so 1,000 gold away from Manta style from Mickey. Also does not have a neutral item yet. Doesn't care too much. Finally decides to pick up Vampire Fangs.
Vikings plan is here. They're grouping up once more. Artillery has got a smoke at the ready. But by the looks of it, just trying to get that BKB recipe picked up, so Shad, he's going to have that ready to go for the next move that they do try and make around the map.
Dire's
Down bottom, puts pressure on tier 1.
Radiant's middle
And he's
tower
going to
is
start
under attack.
making his way to probably the Lotus.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's
Does it
bottom
bother you,
tower is
Owen,
under
that like
attack.
Van Brace is called like Brace as a bracer when it's on strength, but when you change it to agility or like intelligence, it's not called Vam Null?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I never thought of that.
Well, it kind of
Dire's
bothers me.
bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Yeah, screw you, Lacoste. Now I'm going to
Okay, you can think of name for Van Brace when it's on
what?
agility. Give me a name.
Over here now. Here we go, Toby. There, he's got the turner coming in from Aramis. Heal up there, but Toby still dies. Don't nuke him down with the Purifying Flames. Boxy, he's ruptured. He doesn't really care too much, though. He's got so much regen going right now on the Timbersaw. Just sort of waltzing about. No cares in the world. Another attempt to move there from Viking, but this one not resulting in any action. As bases continue to be made for this anti-mage, they're able to again, these 2 outposts. 20 minutes in, Viking aren't going to get that little bit of an XP bonus. They're looking towards the Timber mid. Still very hard to go in onto Boxy. Having a bit of a poke, especially with Insania backing him up. There's just no way that Viking can jump on him. They've got to try and get around the backlines.
They saw that smoke. This Lord revealing it.
I mean, Viking,
Let's see the positioning. I mean, AM will join a fight, try to clean things up with the mana void, especially on the high mana targets like Queen of Pain. She does have a defensive item, Yules, but if that's used already once like Storm jumps on her, if there's any kind of like silence, like she needs to be very careful.
And the lead is starting to show now. There's 4k advantage for Liquid, just the passiveness of this game. The 3 cores of Liquid are more than happy to play into. Timber, Anti-Mage and Storm, farming away. And as for Viking, it really is just Shad that sort of has the power right now. The other core is starting to fall down a bit. Tiger, he's going to go for the TP out, and I mean, he gets away every time. Shad not quite able to make it there in time, as a TP scroll is all that's needed really to counter Vikings lineup yet again.
Yeah, I mean, if they use Yule Scepter to start a fight, to cancel the roll, you know, you don't have any abilities.
Yeah.
Bloodseeker has Road of Aethas, so they need to either bring Bloodseeker or bring... Man, this game, it's very bad for Viking, just try to delay it, because Liquid, they have much better late game. With the Storm Spirit, also, if you look at the cores, like, they're gonna scale, especially the Earth Spirit. He has a full Spirits Vessel and straight up BKB. Like, he knows what he's going for, farming the jungle at the moment.
And yeah, I mean, yeah, you can see for Shad, he just feels that they need so much more in terms of lockdown. He was going to go for the dailies. He's like, nah, screw that. I'm just going to get the Basher ASAP. As they need that extra bit of interrupt against these constant escapes that Liquid's heroes are being able to make. Tiger able to roll away, and Quakefull's able to zip away. Quick silence with the Orchid, and nothing to stop these two just getting out of there. I mean, and that really is the thing, again, to sort of consider. It's Storm, Anti-Mage, Timbersaw, and Earth Spirit. 4 heroes with incredibly high mobility. And Viking just not nearly enough answers to deal with that.
Boxy does not care about the Rupture. He's walking.
They're trying to chase it. Insania's still got a false promise if Boxy's really threatened. So I don't think Boxy's going to care too much. Maybe with the Sonic Wave coming in, but there we have the promise. Save comes through. Quakefull zips over towards Toby. Toby able to run over towards the side, getting himself away. Shad trying to come over the BKB on to Timbersaw. Turn over towards Quakefull. Gets the stun out. Quakefull will go down. They get the Storm over to Tiger. Shad will be able to get a second. Double kill for the Sven.
That's definitely not the target that they need to go for. Like Timbersaw, he wants them to go on him, but Anti-Mage is still not ready to man-fight against this super farm Sven, who has a Basher, and he has an Imp Claw, building that Missile Blade that you mentioned just for some extra lockdown. But once he gets like a Scotty, tanks up a bit, then he's ready to go.
Vikings sweeping over. Let me see if they can catch the AM. Swings around, but nothing he can do on his own to set up. Mickey able to just continue to freely roam this area of the map. 700 gold away from Skadi.
What do you think about the Basher build on Sven, who doesn't have that much attack speed? It sounds kind of bad, but IO giving you attack speed 140 during the overcharge.
Yeah.
Like, this is where the Bashers are going to come from. Also, if Bloodseeker uses Blood Rage, it's a hell of a lot of attack speed.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, yeah, for Shad, he needs that. He just has to sort of do everything right now, this Sven. And getting this Abyssal online as soon as he can will allow himself to have that strong initiation. Up to the jungle, Tiger. Found Celery. He's gonna lay down the tombstone, have the block off the roll, and buy time for Shad to blink in and get on top of the Earth Spirit. Tiger's taken out. The rest of Liquid split and get out of it.
This is Vikings timing. They need to make stuff happen. Like, right now, Sven, much stronger than AM. He's very close to that Abyssal Blade, just 1,000 gold away. He can have it in a minute. Midas also ready. Will hit level 20, lower the cooldown on the Stormhammer, so he can be more maneuverable. Doesn't have an Aghanim Scepter, but, you know, still lower cooldown against all these mobile heroes means a lot. Storm Spirit finishing Bloodstone. So he's gonna have a sort of save for himself if he drops low, and also great synergy with the False Promise.
Still feels tough though for Viking. Smoke coming out from Liquid. I mean, sort of with the position this game's in right now, 25 minutes and 8-6, 4K lead for Liquid. I mean, which of the carries is going to have an easier time carrying this game to a victory in your eyes? Is it going to be the Shad Sven or the Mickey AM?
From is gone. To go back to your question, it really depends. Also, Roche, the first one, didn't die, so whichever carry gets it. Also, Sven is not really a good Aegis carrier compared to like Storm Spirit and AM, and it seems like Mickey does not feel comfortable just joining fights and fighting against AM, so he wants his Abyssal Blade. Once that Basher is up, they don't necessarily need to like jump Sven. All they need to do is kite with all their healing and sustain coming out from Oracle. They can kill him last. Like, they need to get rid of the IO, they need to get rid of the Undying and possibly Queen of Pain. I don't think they care too much about the Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker does not have a clear target to go with the Rupture. Like, it's very hard against the AM. Might just use the counter spell. Also with the blink range talent, can blink out of the range and not get any damage. Storm Spirit also not the target that you want to go for. Possibly like a good target would be Earth Spirit.
Radiant are scanning. Dire's bottom
probably would be at least, because then you know you may be forcing Insania to use some of his defensive spells on Tiger, and if he doesn't, you know, Tiger's going to be sort of left in a position where he's just not able to have this mobility around the fight without risking his own life. Both this mid and bottom lane getting pushed right up to the base of Viking.
They wanted to go Roche, but they need to defend this tower. AM just pushing.
Really forcing them back. Vikings going to try and sweep round from the side, making this move back over from the Roshan pit. The smoke, see what sort of a catch they can find. Quafer just checking out the Roche situation. Do see Boxy under the wall, but Boxy, of course, such a hard target for Viking to commit on. Viking, they're going to see if they can find either Quafer or an Insania over here. See if Shad can get the jump. He's popping the God Strength. He's in straight away over the Abyssal. There's no follow-up, but Insania's able to save. Immediate False Promise. Quafer's going to be fine. Now Liquid, they're trying to turn. They're going to go straight over towards the IO. Mickey's on top of it, takes him out. Tiger will fall. BKB up on Shad. He stands his ground, looks over towards Mickey, but he's been disarmed by Insania. The Sonic Wave comes now. Boxy getting low, but he's able to back up into the trees. They do still finish him out. With the burst of the Sonic, get the kill. Mickey puts the man to the man, comes down. Mickey's so low, he's able to get down the side. Boom chases, but Mickey, he stands his ground. The cleave executed on Toby. Mickey holds his ground, and it's a team wipe. Viking all dead. Mickey and Quaitfo stay alive.
He was waiting for that big mana void moment. Queen of Pain was almost completely out of mana. Look at her mana pool, 100 mana, and he used it while 3 heroes were around. Also Paladin Sword, giving him enough lifesteal to actually survive, and been able to just right-click and lifesteal off of it.
Okay, doing big things there. Coming in. You know, he'd been playing it easy, he'd been hitting creeps. He finally decided it was time to turn up to the action, and he turns up big time. Comes into the fight, cleans up, doesn't die. 3-0-3, and that's going to pretty much give him the money for a full abyssal, at least very close to it. Here's El look over Roche.
Yeah, how Mickey played this game kind of reminds me when I play with you, Owen. Like, I don't see you for 25 minutes, then you show up, get a rampage, and we win a game.
Well, that's very kind of you, Lacoste. I think it's normally the other team that gets the rampage when I show up. As here we go, Mickey and Quaitfo. I'll get the Aegis. They're going to take it on Mickey, interestingly enough. I mean, you know, obviously Storm, a bit of a dream Aegis carrier, but I guess right now they feel that, you know, this AM alone will just carry the game. As long as Mickey doesn't throw, doesn't feed, this AM should be a pretty solid bet to just put all their resources on.
Now he has a full Abyssal Blade done, so that's going to be an easy setup for him. Can easily use it on Sven during the BKB timing. There's a 4-level difference. AM just hit level 25, while Sven is only level 21.
Mickey, he's in on the back line straight away on to the boom. Over to Aramis. I mean, Liquid, they're just cleaning up the fights right now. Shad, he's able to find Insania, but now he's been completely isolated. His BKB unavailable. As yeah, they call it. They call it. There's no win in this game right now. It's absolutely over. As Liquid, well, they'll take game one. Viking, it just seemed like a hard game for the run with the draft that they had. Everything was on the Sven. Outside of Shad, they didn't really have any way to make any sort of plays this game, Lacoste.
I think this